Here is Star, and this is my very handsome, about 16 hand, 4-year-old thoroughbred gelding. And he's had quite a few rides now. And yesterday I actually rode him out in the field, and he was a very good boy. So I thought that today we would go back out there with my paparazzi, meaning my husband and my mom, and take some video and pop over some logs and see what he thought about all that, which he thought it was pretty fun and he was really excellent for it all. So, yeah, we had a really nice little jump school around the field. Unfortunately, the footing out here is like just super hard. Hopefully, we're going to get some rain in the next couple of days. It didn't really bother him, and actually, he didn't trip at all, so I don't even know why I'm mentioning it, except to say that the ground is really hard. As you can see, the grass is dying. So we started by just walking over some logs. He thought that by that log we should probably just be jumping them like normal. So it was Monday morning, which means that there's a ton of traffic on this road that goes by my farm. They're cutting beans. I don't even know if that's the correct terminology, but anyway, endless tractor trailers full of beans and corn and things going down the road, plus the normal dump truck. So just tons of loud, noisy traffic, and he was excellent about it. There was one moment of tension later on, actually, I think it's in like a minute or so, where two vehicles were both coming from opposite directions, and of course they were passing each other right at the same moment they were passing us as we were up against the fence line. And he just gave like one step of tension, and then that was it. Literally, like no spook, no change in where he was going. I mean, just he was really good. I know I was holding my breath, so he did better than me. And then on top of the traffic, which was worse than usual, it was just sort of a breezy day in Maryland, which was actually great because it helped keep the bugs off. But yeah, all those, it was just reminded me as we were trotting towards that tree line there in the far part of the field, and all those trees are, blowing around in the wind, and he was excellent about all that stuff. I think this is his little moment of tension, and yeah, that's where all the traffic converged at the same place. So, not bad. We didn't do too much of a warm up because he's not going to last that long, especially once we start jumping. So, just a couple of minutes of trotting around, and then on with it we went. Super cute and straight to his first log. And actually, he put in a little canter step before that log all on his own. I was just asking him to trot. So at this point, I was like, okay, he's feeling very brave and keen to do the job. So I figured we could just sort of start rolling along. So we went back down the far end of the field, came up this line of logs here along the road. I love doing this line because it's just so straight. It's so easy for them to really like get into a flow of cantering up to logs. Now this log's kind of scary, so he wanted to come back to the trot to have a good look at it, which is perfectly fine and reasonable, and one might even say smart. But then this log he's comfortable with, so of course we cantered up to it, and actually he jumped it really nice. We got that perfect spot to that. So things are feeling very good, and actually he just did a great change right there. So now we're gonna kind of work this line of jumps that I've got here that's sort of like halfway up my hill. The hardest part about jumping these jumps here is actually has nothing to do with the jump. There, he jumped the log really cute there, but then some right drift. So we're gonna come back around and do that again, and hopefully be a bunch straighter on landing. Anyway, the hardest part about those jumps is just sort of the turn there. For whatever reason, they want to just follow the fence line, probably because that's the fence line headed in the direction of back to the gate. So I always find it like they're like glue stuck to the fence line there. They don't want to turn off of it. Once you actually get them to make the turn and you point them at the thing, he was great. It was no problem. It was just here as you sort of come around this barrel, and then he's like, I don't want to leave the fence line. So we had a couple little discussions about that for a few steps, but I think I'm picking. It was nothing serious. So that was much, much straighter. It was very good. And then really nice, easy canter up the hill. This horse is never going to go faster than you would like him to go. And an adorable little canter over that. That log's tiny, but that's on the downhill slide of the field. So I thought it was quite good. And then he just ever so bravely cantered right up to the little black pipe, which in all fairness, we did walk over it the day before when we were out in the field. So it's not like he's never seen it, but he's never trotted it. So he just skipped that part and went right to the canter. It was very brave. And then another good spot to that log there in the corner. So I think now we're going to come to the bigger of the two pipes that's in this line. Very brave. Very good boy. Just totally unfazed by that. He has no reason to think that there's anything to look at there, so I'm just trying not to give him a reason to think there's one. Oh my god. And then downhill to that coop. He just absolutely nailed it. That was just perfect. So now we're going to jump the two bigger black pipes. And so the second one will be going down the hill. Now, this is the first time I'm riding this on him, and I thought I rode it a little too conservatively. So I thought it maybe lacked a little bit of intention and power this first time through here. Of course, it's a little tricky because we're cantering down a hill and all those things. And he was very clever with the footwork, and definitely that was the right spot. But I wanted to come around and do it again and do it a little bit more positively. So we had like a little bit of a, I don't know if you would call it, not a gallop, a little bit of a hand gallop up the hill, just to sort of get his adrenaline going a little bit and make sure that I was riding in there with some intention. And then that was very good. So much straighter and just more on it. And so then coming down the hill, we get the same spot, but I think we just get the spot with more positive energy that time. So I was quite happy with that. I thought that's quite clever, cantering that down the hill. Trying to remember what happens next here. Oh yeah, we come back to this log. He just nailed this log. This was like his base fence because he just jumped it perfect every time. So that was quite good. So then the last thing he's going to do is just end with the barrels here. And I'm a little annoyed at myself because he jumped that great. That was very cute and brave. I actually got a little bit ahead of him in the motion to the barrels, which is embarrassing, and poor guy, but he handled it fine. But I was annoyed at myself that I got a little ahead with my upper body. But other than myself making a mistake, he was quite perfect. So here he is on cross ties. He's he's a goofy horse. He wants to be talking to you. He's certainly engaged. He's curious about what you're doing. He likes the attention. He has some really cute facial expressions. You know, he's got one eye and one ear on me at all times. And he loves treats. That's not shocking at all. Look at that face, like a little pony face.